Okay, this is Dave Daly with Hydration TV, traveling thousands of miles to bring to you stories of people's solutions for finding natural results. And I'm really proud to introduce our audiences here to Drew Bauman here in northeastern Pennsylvania. Drew, thanks for letting us come out and interview today. Your story is miraculous. I think many people have seen it through all the publicity that the water cure has gotten, and I know our audiences want to know how you're doing. It's October 2010. Tell us how you're doing now. You look great. Your skin looks great. Tell us the status of things.
Well, my status is still very good. It's been since 1995 October that I was diagnosed with an incurable cancer. So 95 to 2010 is 15 years, going on my 16th. No return of the cancer, no other cancers growing anywhere else in my body. I'm healthier now than when I was in my 30s.
Wow. And it all started, I think you came in to a CK Auto store, very unhealthy, and you got the information, and you know, you were fortunate to meet Dr. B, work with him personally, and we now know that you have gone on and found more solutions. You're studying in the medical field now to become, get your credentials in the medical field. And with everything you've learned, share with our audiences how it still gets back to the basics. And you do work with people on a regular basis. You call them, you see how they're doing, you coach them. And, as we expand this internet channel, using all the ways media can be found today, tell us still, it's back to the basics, I really kind of feel too. With all the research you've done, is it still back to the basics?
It definitely is. Even while I was in medical school in New York City, I had the misfortune of seeing the Twin Towers fall a few blocks from my school. And my heart started acting up. Dr. Bauman was my coach. And I called him and I said, I'm having a hard time. And everything that he talked me through, everything that he was showing me, I was simultaneously being taught the same thing in medical school, in biochemistry classes, in nutrition classes. And he said, that's basic. He goes, I didn't know this when I was just an MD. I went back and studied these courses when I got out of Iran and came back to the US. So everything he taught me over 10 years was confirmed for me in medical school. He helped me. He coached me through biochemistry. That was a difficult course. Wow. But then when I got my master's degree in acupuncture, now I'm working on my board exams. I've passed one and got 2 more to go, and I'm in a whole new career mode. What Dr. B showed me comes back to play every day in what I see with all the patients that I coach, and it's very simple. The people who follow his protocol that I show them to use, they do very well, as just like I did. My daughter did well. My mother's 2 years alive with pancreatic cancer. Wow. My son's ADD from a lead poisoning dump got better. I mean, it's miraculous.
Amazing. And we know pancreatic cancer acts so fast. Poor Patrick Swayze, it didn't take long to take his life. But, exactly. For our audiences, can you tell them of an uplifting story that you've recently heard? 2010, a lot of the water cure stories are from interviews from 10 years ago, and we really want to bring the 2010 messages. What's happening today around the world? Healthcare has never been more expensive. More and more people are without health care, and it's kind of a scary time in a lot of healthcare situations. Yes. So give us, does a story come to mind of a recent uplifting story that's made you feel good about the big journey that you've been on?
A man named Mike from Scranton had many, many years of acid reflux, 10 or 15 years at least. He tried all kinds of medications, PPIs, proton pump inhibitors, and his condition got worse and worse and worse. Burning, he went for endoscopic. Wow. They found that he had scar tissue on his esophagus. They told him he was probably going to develop cancer. They had no hope for him, that he had to take more. So they doubled up on his Prilosec. They doubled up on his other medications. When the man wrote to me on the internet, he said, I found this when I was searching for alternative cures. Can you give it a try and help me? So I told him, I'll show you what Dr. Bauman showed me and we'll give it a whirl. Well, now he just wrote to me again about 3 or 4 weeks ago. He went for another scope because the doctor scolded him for going off the Prilosec and for using this natural protocol. Wow. He said, so I took Prilosec for 2 days and all the burning and the acid reflux came back. He said, so I switched back to the hydration protocol, and I even started taking the hydrochloric acid supplement that you got me. He goes, you were right. He goes, the food was not digesting in my stomach, and there wasn't enough acid, and that kept coming up, burning my esophagus. He said, the scope I just got done, the doctor said, I can't explain this, but you have no more acid. You have no more scar tissue in your esophagus. What did you do again? I hear that a million times. What did you do again? Because the doctors can't believe the results when they see them. And he goes, the water cure, the hydration protocol was correct. He goes, I didn't have enough acid. I changed what I drink. I changed what I eat. And I have no more reflux problems, no more burning, and no more scar tissue in my esophagus.
Wow. And, you know, this is one of literally thousands of people who, with a healthy, natural solution, are finding these type of results. But I really want you to know that there are people who are in very delicate states of well-being, all different ailments, and you just can't always follow the initial general guidelines. We, as hydration coaches, have a checklist, a questionnaire that we can email you, and you can give us kind of the status of your body and your organs and your functions, and you know, we're happy to kind of give you a more customized start of what we would recommend. Like I say, I'm not a doctor, Drew's studying to be a doctor, but we can just kind of give you some tips and guidelines of a way to start for you based on your weight and your history. And I think that would be a good way to help many of the people who are getting questions. And you can send an email to hydrationcoach@gmail.com. I get about a dozen inquiries a day with people who have searched on the net looking for a natural solution, and you'll get a questionnaire in your email. And I think that's a prudent way to move forward, and we can help others. And the second request I'd like to make is, you people out there know of people who've just gotten some really scary news. They've been told they just got breast cancer. They've been told they have really scary ailments, and there's this really daunting time, and we'd want you to forward this interview to them and have them get this information, not that it's right for them, but that at least they have it as part of their decision process of what they're going to do from here.
That's right.
Does that make sense?
It does, and you bring up a very important point. When Dr. Bauman was training me, he said anyone you ever talk to that has any swelling in their hands, their feet, or their face, they don't start off immediately using the water cure protocol the way he taught it. He had specific instructions when that happens. And I get calls from a lot of people who don't know that information. Their feet are swollen. The one gentleman that comes to mind in Northern California, he had water in his lungs and swelling in his feet, but he was drinking salty water. You don't drink salty water. That's a quick fix. Yeah. So I had to show him to stop all salt for 3 days, just drink the water in increasing increments to flush the water out of his body, the extra fluid. They call it interstitial fluid. It was around the cells instead of inside the cells where it belongs. Dr. B was very, very adamant about that we have two oceans of water in the body, one inside the cell, one outside. And it belongs inside, and it shouldn't be more outside than in. So people should be careful. If they got swelling, heart conditions, congestive heart failure, don't start right off drinking the water and eating the salt. Contact the hydration coach. Get us a questionnaire, and we'll work with you slowly and take you along where you need to go, as Dr. Bauman taught.
You know, and we'll also give our recommendations. Take them to your doctor. That's right. I mean, we're not recommending anything that you're not going to have in your cupboard or at a local health food store.
That's right.
And these are things that shouldn't make any MD alarmed with any sort of side effect or anything to conflict. And, you know, we're really coming at this message with your well-being. And whether the doctor has a solution, whether our natural solution is part of that solution. In fact, we just interviewed a very prominent doctor in Virginia who recommends water in her practice. And she said that water isn't going to cure everything, but it's the part of every solution. The part of every solution for all the ailments that she sees come through her door. Water is one of the foundations. That's right. And so, Drew, we appreciate your time here today. That it's 2010. Who knows where we're going to be a year from now? But we do have a substantial coming together of a lot of forces to really take this message, you know, in the spirit of Dr. B, who laid everything on the line, that I'm sure there were times when he was discouraged, shouldering this cause as an individual, but we really aim to bring thousands and thousands, millions of people together using technology, using savvy ways to communicate, low cost, and really help people. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. That's exactly what we're doing.
Awesome. So for Hydration TV, we're going to sign off. But again, please forward this message to anyone who you know who may benefit from these questions, these interviews, and these points. And we do this for your well-being. Thank you very much.